this video, I will tell you exactly how to hit your target only from the call quotes. For that, I will show you how to exactly calculate how many calls you have to make per day to hit your target. We'll show you the calculation step by step in a very simple way. According to my 20 years of B2B professional sales experience, the most cost-effective way is call calling. But unfortunately, many salespeople, they don't know how many calls they have to make per day, per week, per month to hit their target. The simple steps I'm going to explain you right now will demonstrate you exactly how many calls you have to make per day, and if you act upon that, you can definitely hit your target. Let's get into it. Now everything starts from the monthly sales target or your sales quota. For the ease of clarification, I will take an hypothetical example. Assume your sales target is $100,000. So you can consider whatever the currency you are using, maybe euros, pounds or Sri Lankan rupees, whatever the currency you are using. Now typical salespeople, what they are doing is they keep this target and they really work hard on the final week. But it's too late because they comfortably live in first 2 to 3 weeks time period and they start working on the final week. It's very difficult to work on the final week. But the smart salespeople, what they are doing is they work according to a plan and week by week, and at the end of the day, it's really easy for them to hit the target. Now here what you have to do is exactly you have to calculate what's your week's sales target. How you are going to do that? You divide the monthly sales target into number of weeks. According to our example, we are having 100,000 monthly sales target and divided by 4, we get 25,000. That means weekly you have to hit $25,000. When you hit every week $25,000, you can hit your target. Up to now, I hope you are very clear about this. Now for the ease of clarification, let's assume your product value is $5,000. Now according to our example, number of sales you have to make per week, it's really important. Now according to our example, you have to have a very good understanding how many products you have to sell per week. Now according to our example, number of sales you have to make per week equals weekly target divided by the product value. That means 25,000 divided by $5,000 equals 5 products. That means weekly you have to concentrate to sell 5 products. Okay, now the major part is over. Now we are having a very tricky part. Now this is high ticket selling. So you know the process. First of all, you have to make the calls. That means you have to do the call calling. Then you have to fix the appointment. You have to go in front of the customers. You have to make the sales presentation. Then you have to close the deals. Now here, the very tricky part is you have to identify how many appointments you have to make with your prospects. If I specifically tell you, according to our example, how many appointments you have to make to hit 5 sales, that's the crucial question you have to ask by yourself. There is a very important concept you have to understand, which is called the closing ratio. That means when you visit prospects, how many of them you can convert into sales. That's a kind of an skill. That's a presentation skill. I am not going to talk about it, but we'll calculate the ratio. So when you are calculating the ratio, you have to be really accurate. So most of the time people take the annual figures, but I like to take your last 6 months figures because the reason it will showcase the accurate figures. So over the time you can improve, but if you take last 6 months time period, you can take the accurate picture of your closing ratio. Now how do we calculate the closing ratio? Number of sales you close in the last 6 months time period divided by number of prospects you have visited during the last 6 months time period into 100%. Then you can get the ratio. Now assume my ratio is 25%. Now tell me, what does this mean? You have to understand it very carefully. 25% means if I want to make 25 sales, I just want to visit 100 prospects. You understand what I'm telling? So if I can increase this ratio, that's a really good thing. But prepare the plan according to the worst case scenario, then you are safe. If I interpret this ratio in another way, if I just want to make 1 sale, I want to visit 4 prospects. You understand what I'm telling? Now according to my example, I have to make 5 sales per week. I have to close 5 deals per week. So therefore, altogether, I just want to visit 20 prospects per week. In another way, that I have to make 20 appointments per week. You understand? If you didn't understand up to this level, again rewind this video and see very carefully what I have done. Now there is a very important question you have to ask by yourself. How many calls you have to make an appointment? That's a very crucial question. That means we are going to calculate the appointment conversion ratio. That means when you call to the customers, based on your calling skills, how many calls you can convert into an appointment. So if you improve this skill, it will increase your sales closing ratio, right? Appointment conversion rate equals number of appointments you have made during the last 6 months time period divided by number of calls you have made during the last 6 months time period. Just like in the last ratio, we are calculating the last 6 months time period because it will showcase your accurate figure. Assume, according to my example, it's 34%. What does that mean? That means if I want to make 34 appointments, I want to call 100 customers. If I want to make one appointment, I have to call approximately 3 customers. You understand what I'm telling? Now, according to this example, if I just want to make 20 appointments, that means I want to call 60 customers a week. Now, we have come to a very crucial point. That means we know exactly this number of calls we have to make to hit our target. That means we have to make 60 calls per day. Assume you are not working on Saturdays and Sundays. You are working Monday to Friday. That means altogether 5 days. What you're going to do, you divide it into 5 and each day you have to make 12 calls, right? But don't follow this method. Don't follow that method. Why I'm telling like this? Because of a reason. Because you have to keep one day as a buffer day. Sometimes we don't know. Many unforeseen circumstances might happen. Sometimes you have to go for the appointments the whole day. You expected it, the presentation will over within 20 minutes time or 30 minutes time period, but it took more than 1 hour time period. Sometimes you may be having unforeseen meetings. So therefore, keep the buffer day. So most probably, finish it off calling all the calls by Thursday. That means you are going to divide 60 calls by 4. That means each day you have to make 15 calls. Monday to Thursday, you have to make every day 15 calls. Now there is another very tricky point. So when are you going to call your prospects? According to my own experience, I will tell you the most effective time is morning. Why? Your prospect, their mind is totally free and fresh in the morning because we are selling high-ticket products and your target audience is high-end people, senior managers, executives, presidents, likewise. And most probably, they will go for the meeting after 10 o'clock or after 9:30. So therefore, early in the morning, you start calling and you can make appointments comparatively easily. And at the same time, when you make appointments, your dopamine spike is really high. That means you get motivated and you can do rest of the things very effectively. Therefore, as a habit, make 10 calls in the morning, right? There is another 5 calls. What's the other effective time period? Again, according to my own experience, I will tell you, after 5 o'clock, after the office hours, that's the most important time period. Now, you may be thinking about at that time period, the offices are closed. No. But senior executives, they like to stay in their offices because they don't like to waste their time in the traffic jam. But if you are a 9 to 5 person, this won't work. You have to stay another little bit of longer time period after 5 o'clock and you have to call your target audience. Believe this method really works. But on the way, if you get referrals, if you get leads from the marketing department, that's a bonus for you because you are not depending on anyone else through this method. You can control your target by yourself. You don't need to put blame to any person because you are the person generating the leads. Now I told you in this process, you have to make appointments and you have to go in front of your prospect and make the presentations. It's really important you have to make very effective presentations. But as you are selling high-ticket products, as human beings, sometimes you get nervous in front of high-end people. I mean the executives, president, like this type of people. And if you can overcome that excitement or the fear, it will make a tremendous impact in your sales career. So how you are going to do that? That is why NLP is really helpful. So on my next video, I'm going to talk with you how to use NLP anchoring to enhance your sales effectiveness. We'll catch you soon. Good luck. Thank you for watching this video. Please share this video, read below information and subscribe to my channel. I will offer you more videos like this to improve your sales and to grow your business. Have a great day.